Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is July the 19th, 2024, and today the topic is Stop Thinking Small. Happy Friday. It's Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thursday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Y'all know the main thing I did yesterday, and that was go to work. Yes, your girl was working yesterday over there at the church doing my tasks. um, it's just very interesting, man. I've been making some observations, and it's kind of leading to this conversation today, actually. So I don't know how much of the testimony I'm going to share, but basically, long story short, I mean, I'm still getting feedback about my leadership, and I find it quite interesting. Um, the feedback I'm getting without getting too deep into it and stuff. Because it's like, for me, I'm just like, I guess I'm confused or I'm wondering, like, how are we getting to these conclusions? You know what I mean? Like, when I feel like, okay, if we're going to take one or two incidents and say, oh, well, you didn't do this with this, or oh, it's just very interesting. It's very interesting. And like seeing, I guess, how other people see you. And I know I can't control that per se. All I can do is, do my best to do what I do, I guess. But anyway, so obviously this is heavy on my heart and mind this morning. I can't remember what time I woke up this morning. I know it was early-ish, probably before the time. But anyway, obviously I didn't, get to the juice until now. But I feel like there's so much to say, but at the same time, so much not to say. Because at the end of the day, it's not like I think again, this is more so for me, right? Making observations of I guess where I am and maybe areas to grow in versus like talking about the people and what they got to say about me or what I had to say about them or things of that nature. You know what I mean? Um, so with that being said, taking out time to observe, the observations as well as myself and things like that. I started to seek the Lord this morning, and I don't think I put him absolutely last the way I used to do. But I did need to like say my apologies for doing this last after I stewed or was feeling some way and whatnot. Again, I just don't like the feeling, and I don't know should I say this, but anyway, I feel like okay, I love the job. I love the job, right? I feel like I'm divinely placed at the job, right? Um, but I also feel like there's this like walking on thin ice feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like feeling as if like, oh, am I not doing well? Am I not giving what's needed? Am I not, you know what I mean? And I know that's not facts, you know what I'm saying? That's not true or accurate because I mean, I do feel like I'm giving, what was asked of me and beyond, and again, I feel like I'm at the right place at the right time doing the right thing. But for whatever reason, here the enemy is trying to, um, I guess get in my mind one way or another by making me doubt, fear, I don't know, feelings of anxiety and things of that nature. And so I share all that to say that, man, yeah, I took some time to cast those thoughts and imaginations down, right, and go to the Lord and seek the Lord about the truth, right, and ultimately after I took a little time, I was like, well, Lord, here's this situation, here's that situation, here's my observations. And then ultimately, what I received after that was this conversation of, stop thinking small. At the end of the day, again, the task that has been asking me, it's just one of those things like, when you feel like you get conflicting information, you know what I'm saying? Or you feel like you're like, okay, on one hand it's this, but then on the other hand it's this, and you're asking me to make a way in between both of these things that are on totally different pages, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Um, like I said, it can be a difficult challenge, right? Or at least it is for me, right? It's been a little bit difficult because I'm like, okay, you know, I think one of the biggest things, and I think I've said it on here before, so I don't not too hesitant to say it right now, but one of the biggest things for me is I feel like, okay, I'm being asked to lead um, several situations where I'm not the leader. You know what I'm saying? And then, and it makes me feel like I'm either, um, you know, overstepping my boundaries, and whatever the case may be. And I don't know if it's the people pleaser in me, that part of me that needs to die of people pleasing. Um, to Because maybe it's not my responsibility to carry whatever the things I'm feeling like I should be carrying. Um, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I feel like this is direct information. Like when I listen to people, I take in what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, I might be able to discern beyond that as well. Because I guess that's a gift or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, like if you tell me X, Y, and Z, then I'm going and you like repeat to me X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna say you said X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and you tell me X, Y, and Z, but you expect A, B, C, and then but I'm like, but you said X, Y, and Z, and so I gave you X, Y, and Z, not A, B, C, because that's what you asked of me. Uh, so it's like that. But anyway, like I said, without getting into details, because again, that ain't none of y'all's business per se. But I'm just trying to be open and honest about like challenges, right, and issues and things that. And again, I feel like this is just another attack from the enemy. At the end of the day, he couldn't get me in these other areas that he already didn't attack me in. So now it's like attacking me with whether or not I'm gonna keep this awesome position that I'm in, or who knows, man? Maybe God has a whole nother position for me, you know what I mean, beyond what I'm even thinking. And that's why, or that's what brings me back to today's conversation of stop thinking small. Because at the end of the day, yes, I'm making observations and things like that. And yeah, I think I'm capable of whatever it is. You know what I mean? I think I'm capable of beyond what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Um, I mean, not trying to puff myself up. I'm just saying this is based on like my life. You know what I'm saying? Based on the things I do, you know, I know that I can do above and beyond what I'm currently doing at the church, for example. But at the same time, I'm humble enough to stay where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? And learn where I'm at and grow where I'm at and stuff like that. I'm gonna flourish wherever I'm planted in Jesus' name. You know what I mean? So I'm totally fine with the position I'm in, but obviously, I don't know what the Lord's doing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's like preparing me. I don't know what he's doing. All I know is I'm making observations and I am doing my best to, do what's asked of me, and what's encouraged, being encouraged. And that's pretty much all I feel like to say about that. But anyway, so with all that being said, obviously my mind was all over the place. And like I said, I took time to rebuke those things, the negativity, the negative thoughts and stuff like that, and to humble myself and be like, Lord, I need help to understand, what's happening, and ultimately, like I said, I received stop thinking small. And so one of those things that led to that this morning, outside again of what I just told you, is I saw this quote, which I've seen it a few times before. Y'all probably have seen it as well on social media. The quote that started talking about Sarah wanted a baby, but God envisioned a nation. Stop thinking small. And then they got several of those type of things where they used the biblical figures about like they had one thing in mind, God had a whole nother thing in mind, and things of that nature. And so, with that being said, that's what I felt led to go deeper about today. And obviously, you know what I did. I ended up going to openbible.info and plugging that in. I also ended up making moves accordingly in my waking life. I ended up making some moves, thinking big, and using again what was asked of me, but to give a bigger vision of some ideas, and hopefully we're gonna see what the Lord do at the end of the day, because um, perhaps He wants to use all the resources or whatever the case may be. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is I'm going to do my best to execute what was asked. But with that being said, can you do that with you in your life, right? And so, again, let's take a look at these verses that I came across when I looked into Stop Thinking Small. So, yes, I plugged that phrase into openbible.info, and this is what I felt led to write down this morning. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think, according to the power at work within us." So at the end of the day, again, God can do above and beyond what we think, or even what we ask. And so at the end of the day, who am I to sit here and think small? Like, now, like I said, I hear, the issues, right? And I hear the things that are being presented to me. But at the end of the day, if God want to do above and beyond that, who am I to hold him back in any capacity? We ain't got to operate in the I guess the box or the finite idea of, oh well, things are looking like this or things are looking like that, so you gotta make something work in between. Now I know, listen, I'm a ball on the budget type person, you know what I'm saying. I try to use what I got, right, to do what I can. I mean, even today, man, I don't really have too much on my schedule today. I thought I might do a meeting, but that's not gonna be able to happen. So I'm like, I might take time to finally take some photos of some of these items that, like I said, because I just relaunched the brand Embrace, and things of that nature. So I use a little bit to invest in relaunching the brand, and who knows what the Lord's gonna do with it. But my thing is, it's in place, it's getting done, and I'm gonna probably again take some time today to work on those things. Um, and things of that nature, so some fruit can grow. You know what I mean? Like as I down these seeds, I'm expecting some type of harvest. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and so again, like who am I to sit here and put God in a box in any capacity? Like it's being asked of me to think above and beyond, y'all gonna get above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? And then and if the Lord want to take it beyond what I already put in place, then so be it at the end of the day. So can we do that for us in our own lives? Yes, I'm talking about my situations and stuff like that, but can you think about this about you in your life, right? Is God asking things of you, and you're like, Lord, I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to, like for example, if someone had asked me a couple months ago, well, Miracle, you need to relaunch your brand Embrace, and I'm looking at my accounts and stuff like, how am I gonna do this? I don't have nothing to invest it with, or whatever the case may be, to invest in items to relaunch Embrace, whatever the case may be. Then how can now God can surely still operate regardless of my faith, right? But at the end of the day, it having the faith, right, it activates something, right? And so again, again, it was a miraculous thing that happened for me to be able to even make the investment, right? And so all I'm saying is that, I know I'm talking about my situations. I know I'm trying to give examples and testimonies, but think about what this means for you, right? Is God calling you to more, bigger, better? Again, his idea is going to be better than yours anyway. So you might as well just go with him and his plan, right? Than sit here and try to put him in a box and stay within your own idea and means, or whatever the case may be. So anyway, let me go ahead and give you guys another verse. The next verse I felt led to write down this morning was Psalm 2:8. It says, "Ask of me, and I will make the actions, or excuse me, make the nations your heritage, and the ends of the earth your possession." Y'all, at the end of the day, again, we thinking too small. He's saying that he's gonna make the nations our heritage. And then he said he's going to make the ends of the earth our possession. And so why are we sitting here thinking small at the end of the day? Like, why are we thinking like, oh, I can only do this right here, and I can only have this right here, and I can, you know what I mean? Like, we do that all the time. And at the end of the day, that may not be what he called us to, right? He might not just want you to have, you know, this, like some small little thing. Like he might want you to make a move, plant the seed, so then you can have again abundance and things of that nature. I'm not sitting here trying to talk about prosperity and all that type of stuff. Be like, oh, it's that. I'm just saying that God is able to do above what we think, right? And so stop thinking small at the end of the day. Like again, if he's giving you big goals, dreams, visions, things of that nature, I'm just waiting for my stuff to come to fruition. I mean, I done seen it, you know what I mean? I believe that it can happen. I done seen fruit from what I'm already doing. And so at the end of the day, I'm expecting that it's going to happen one of these old days. Now, I'm not worried about when and where and how and all that type of stuff. And so, may you have that same peace, right? May you have that same faith. in the Lord to know that, hey, I don't have to worry about the when, the how, the where, or none of that. All I got to do is do what I'm supposed to do, when I'm supposed to do it with what I got. Right? Where are you today? What can you do with what you have? At the end of the day, like I said, for example, the situation at the church, I got ideas out the wazoo, as they say. You know what I mean? I'm an idea generator. So at the end of the day, you want me to think big? Fine. I'm going to think huge. And if you can do it, we can make it happen. Cool. If we can't make it happen, we can make something close to it happen. My whole thing is, at the end of the day, if the church, for example, can be the I guess they can put the reins or whatever the case may be. So in your life, if we're gonna equate what I'm talking about to you, I would say the Lord, let him be the one to put it into perspective, right? But you just go forth with whatever it is, within his will and God's way and in his desire. You know what I mean? Like in his design or his plan. Because again, y'all know we can go with our own plans, and that, you know what that can do. So I'm not talking about that. Like I'm not talking about, oh, go marry somebody else's husband or something. Like I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about things that are alignment with the Lord and His will and His way and what He want to do. So anyway, let me give you guys another verse. Hebrews 11:1. It says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, and then it also says the conviction of things not seen." I wanted to go deeper about conviction today, but I didn't. I forgot to go and look it up. But if you want to go check that out, let's go look up the word conviction, y'all, and just let that marinate on our heart, souls, and mind. But at the end of the day, yeah, we gotta have faith to move and operate in the things God. And at the end of the day, stop thinking small. If you ain't received nothing else that I said this morning, if you didn't hear anything else, stop thinking small. At the end of the day, we like to think like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be that. And if it ain't looking like, red, yellow, and green lined up in one, then it's not, it's not God. It's not my will. It's not what I want. It's not that, and God might want to give you all the rainbow colors. You know what I'm saying? God might want to, give you a prism that is colorless, that brings out color. You know what I mean? Like, but you so stuck on the green and the red and the yellow that you missing the blessing of having a prism, for example. Like, I'm just trying to give y'all examples, man, and hopefully encourage you and inspire you. But that's ultimately the juice this morning. Let's not think small. Let's get into alignment with God, His will, His way, and let Him work. You know, let's see what He gonna do. And that's the juice. That's the juice. Now, the Bible verse of today is Ecclesiastes 4:9. It says, "Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Just a reminder, yes, we do have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out tonight. We have a wonderful, honorable lady, Sergeant, I want to say it right, Senior Master Sergeant Wanda Joel, is joining us tonight again. If y'all are familiar with her, she is, if not one of the first, she is the first African American permanent crew worker on the Air Force One, and she is visiting the GSL Talk Show tonight. So I hope you guys tune in. And yes, thank her for her service. And yeah, man, y'all have a wonderful Friday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye bye.